round, we focus on protecting the data and workloads in the cloud environment, and especially we try to bring in another vendor, which is more on um, the security protection through some kind of code review. So I think Checkmarx is, some of you may be familiar with the company as well. But this round, we try to put some of the focuses into the area that is mitigating the risk of open source software. I think open source software has been around for a long time, but the thing is, it's getting more and more popular, especially when we encounter the cloud environment. People like to move towards the area using more on the open source software. So for this round, we invited speaker Richard Lee from Checkmarx. He is the APEC channel sales engineer. So he will cover the part that is about the mitigate the risk of open source software. So I think we can pass the time to Richard to have to take the floor.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Richie. Let me introduce myself. My name's Richard. I'm based in Singapore, so I'm supporting the different partners across the region, including the eWalker is our important partner in Hong Kong. So today I'm going to present a webinar on how you mitigate the risks of open source software in your development environment. Okay. So let me start with so you can see like nowadays a lot of developers, in your organization is probably using some open source component. And what's the reason they're using the open source component? So the first reason is the speed. Okay, probably if you know if you're a developer, you probably know the URL lib3 is a thread safe HTTP request response library is for Python. So let's say if you want to build the same library. It takes about 8.5 weeks to develop this same library. So if you, for developer, they don't have to redevelop this library. They just can use it in their code. They just need to include the library in the code, and then they can use it within the 5 seconds. So that's a reason why, one of the reason why a developer like to use open source library because of the speed. Okay, and then the second reason is because the modern developers using modern languages like Node.js, Python, or JavaScript, they like to use existing the library, so they don't have to build. It becomes a habit for them to just import or reuse the existing open source library in their development environment. It becomes the habit instead of develop on their own in the environment. Okay. And the third reason is if you compare the open source library with the closed source library, the open source library, because there's a community, a lot of developers, they make contribution, and they're also aware of the issue, the vulnerability of the open source library, and also they also receive the more updates as compared to closed source. Okay, it's easier to discover more vulnerabilities as compared to closed source software. Okay, that's the reason why. Another reason why the developer like to use the open source library, because if they have find some issue with the open source library, they can get the updates real soon compared to closed source software. Okay. So another reason is available because there are tens of thousands open source library available on the public. You can just download, or you can include the link to use in your open source library in your development environment. That's why it's very popular and easy to use, and it's already available in public. Okay, that's another reason why developers like to use it. Okay, I think I heard some noise, okay, in the background. So let me show you some of the example of the open source software component. So for example, like No Express is a Node.js web framework. It has 17 million downloads a week. There are a lot of 50,000 other Node.js packages rely on Express to do the software development. And another, again, I mentioned earlier, is a ulib, is another Python HTTP request library. It's over 900 million downloads by developer to use to do the HTTP request. Okay. Another one is npm. npm is for Node.js application. Is where you can npm is for packaging for Node.js library. So you can see like left-back is a single Node.js function to left-back a string. It's a very popular Node.js open source library used by developer to do the left-backing a string. Okay, it's already duplicated, but you can see there's a lot of downloads for this open source library. Okay, so if you use the developer use the open source library, there are risks come with it, and what are the risks that you have to address for the using the open source library? So one of the risks is mistakes. So open source library are not secure, so they have contain vulnerabilities. Okay, for example, like Drupal is used by over 500,000 sites, but Checkmarx discovered that multiple vulnerabilities in the late 2020. Okay, another one is Jenkins. Okay, fault in the network discovery protocol enable like 100,000 DDoS amplification attack. Okay, so one of the example of risk for vulnerability risk for the open source library. Okay, so another types for risk is for open source library is related to supply chain security. If they, so for example, like hackers can have like post a package with a similar name. They call it typo squatting, but the same functionality, but it has a malicious code. So maybe, for example, like a package like a moment, they can change the name to like Monet. So it's a similar name, but developer can just accidentally download the malicious package, okay, with the malicious code, and then they can use it in the environment. So this is another risk of related to the open source library in the supply chain security. And then a maintainer can take over, okay, someone else machine, things like that, if you use a malicious package in the environment. So you can see this is an example of the UA parser JavaScript package. So actually it's a JavaScript package is very popular for collecting the client information, the agent on the client information like OS information. However, this package has been included with some malicious package to steal like password information and also like do like a crypto mining in the background. Okay, so this is an example of the malicious package. So there's another thing is to consider about open source library risk is the contributor reputation. Okay, sometime you have like a new hacker or contributor try to join the GitLab project, but his profile doesn't look genuine. He can be inject some malicious code in the package for developer to download. Okay, so this is an example of a developer identified as a right control. He volunteered to take over the open source library called event stream. However, he created a new module called some others they call like a flat map stream. Okay, so the flat map stream include a malicious code to do like crypto mining in the background. Okay, so this is a reputation. Continued reputation is very important. Sometimes if you don't have a good reputation, it can use the accident download the malicious package in the software development environment. Okay, so there's a trend you can show. This is a diagram show you the trend of the CVE, published the CVE. CVE is related to the vulnerability related to the open source library used by developer. Okay, it's maintained by the NVD, US NVD database. And then it show you that there's a drop, even though there's a drop of a discovery CVE in the recent years, but there's also a high risk issue found in most of the. You see the figure is still high for the high risk CVE found in the database. Okay, so in reality, Gartner deposited that 95% of IT organization consume open source within their mission critical IT portfolios. Okay, that means to say a lot of developers are using open source library. And then you can see that based on Verizon report, 43% of breaches involve web application, with nearly 20% hacking breaches involve vulnerability exploit, such as open source library vulnerability. Okay. So how do you address the risks that I mentioned earlier? So there are three critical questions about open source in your organization. The first question is, which open source library are used, and do they contain any vulnerabilities? So you need to have a way to generate a complete inventory of open source library risk, and also you need to have a solution to track the public CVV and vendor exclusive vulnerabilities curated by dedicated open source security research team. And also, you must have a solution to accurately detect direct and transitive dependency. Okay, and also again, another on the fourth point, you must have a solution to track new vulnerabilities impacting previously scanned project. Okay, so this is the first question you had asked when you want to use talk about the open source library. The second, and then this is an example of the heartbeat bug. Okay, you use this is a very popular bug in the long time ago. So basically, it can cause like the read the memory of the system. Okay, because if you use a verbal version of the open SSL software, SSL is a protocol for you to encrypt your secure to do provide encryption to secure your internet. So some of the version of open SSL software has a vulnerability for people can still do a eavesdrop the communication, can steal information from the network. Okay, so this is a popular heartbeat bug. So again, the reasoning there's a Log4j is a popular vulnerability found in the Log4j, particular version of some version of Log4j. You can actually do like using text messaging to remotely control another machine remotely. Okay, so another example of the vulnerable open source library discovered in the recently discovered. Okay, so this is the first question. The second question you want to answer your critical question is: are you spending your time wisely on the things that have biggest impact? Okay, the first is determine whether a vulnerability is in the application executor path. Okay, so another thing is you need to have a solution to identify how vulnerable component enter the application for effective remediation. For example, like a dependency path, things like that. Okay. And again, another point to mention is you must have a solution to prioritize remediation effort by filtering out libraries that are used for development but not used in the production, like development dependency. Okay. So the third question you want to ask about open source library is how do you streamline the open source risk assessment and remediation? So you must have some sort like a solution to help you to integrate the into the CI/CD pipeline and in the entire SDLC. You can do like a trigger the scan within the CI/CD pipeline and show the result, things like that. And then you can facilitate the information flow. Deliver the analysis result directly into the build tools. You can show the result into the build tools, things like that. And then you can also have automation, the ticket creation. If you use a solution, must have to, the finding, the scan result must be able to automate generate into the Jira issue tracking system. Okay. And then you must have a solution that you can unify the activity, let's say the scan result in both software composition analysis and other types of scanner in use. Okay. And then also you can able to have a solution to be able to initial scan or see the result from the location within the build system. Okay, so these are the things that you should consider. Question that you should consider when you try to address your open source risk. Okay, so what to look for when you're choosing the solution. Okay, this is the next slide I'm going to talk about. So basically, you must have like a solution to give you like a dashboard to show you like a accurate open source library detection to show like what types of libraries found in your project, things like that. And then it can show you like the risk level, okay, and the found in your scan report across your organization. And then you must have a news vulnerability alerting without the need to rescan, okay. And then you can show you the vulnerability trend over time on the project level, okay. And then it also show you the open source library, those especially those vulnerable open source library that show you the CVE, both show you the based on the comprehensive database of both CVE and also unique non-CVE ones. Okay. Well, how do you use the solution? Let's say the solution that you choose, you must have like effectively tries the scan result. For example, you must show like in the scan result, it show you the dependency of your open source library that you use. For example, if you have used this package, you depends on other package as well. You will show the list of dependency on all the packages. Okay. And then also you can show you like an exploitable path. For example, if you have a project that shows where the the code that you use the open source library. You can show which line of code which source code file and which line of code using the open source library. It can trace back all the way to the open source code that causing this the vulnerability in your project. Okay. And another types of things that you need to look for when you're choosing the open source risk solution is to address the licensing for compliant things issue. So let's say if you have a project, you want to, if you like a copyright license in your open source library, for example, you can use it for your commercial purpose, but you need to make sure you need to distribute your software as well. Otherwise, you'll be violating the copyright left license compliance. Okay, so can the solution must be able to give you like a generate the license risk on your of your project. Okay. So again, then if you choose solution, you must have a guidance on how do you what to for example, what to do when you found some vulnerability in your project. You have like recommendation to upgrade to the certain version, maybe the latest and stable version. When you scan a project using the solution, you can upgrade to the latest version. Okay. So Checkmarx SCA, software composition analysis, supply chain security. There's an new engine added to the current solution. So we can have like traditional current market offerings that can give you like a health and wellness as software bill of materials and give you like a malicious package detection. But what's the difference between the new engine provided by Checkmarx? Checkmarx new supply chain security in the SCA scanner can give you like a contribute reputation. Okay, you don't take code from a stranger. You can identify a normality within the open source project and can do the behavior analysis. So basically, this has a Checkmarx R&D team. They have this detonation chamber. It's like a sandbox environment. Okay, to do like a static and dynamic analysis of how code run in your environment and also how they use possibly like packages in the development environment. It can detect like malicious package in the software development environment. Okay, and then you also provide a continued result processing to like a threat hunting and threat intelligence database to provide the update of the malicious package and use in the software development environment. Okay. So just want to let you know that Checkmarx introduced a new Checkmarx application security platform. It's a cloud solution. So basically, where the security, you can speak in a language developer understand. It can provide like a build for the cloud development generation. You can using a different types of technology stack and architecture, process and varieties. And then it's a one-click cloud application platform. That means you can just use a single click. You can choose a multiple scanner then to do the scanning of your project. Okay, so the solution, the AST platform, is based on the Checkmarx leading industry leading technology, like for example, like SAST is doing static analysis, and SCA is doing software composition analysis, open source library, and also using like KICS. KICS is keeping infrastructure code safe to do scanning of your misconfiguration of your infrastructure as a code template. Okay. So just want to know, give you the high overview of the platform architectures. So basically, this is a cloud platform. You use currently is on the multi-tenant on public cloud, and in the later second half of the year, you will provide the single tenant hosted by Checkmarx, and then later again, we'll have like provide the single tenant hosted by customer for the AST cloud. And then currently the scanner available for scanning using AST platform is SAST to do the statistical analysis of your project to find security vulnerability in your custom code, and also provide the infrastructure as a code scanning to detect the misconfiguration in your, like for example, Docker file or Kubernetes YAML file. Okay, infrastructure and code template, and also provide you like just-in-time training integration, like a code bashing. You can go to like interactive e-learning lesson to learn about certain vulnerabilities, and then currently available is also like a software composition analysis SCA with supply chain security. Okay, to detect like malicious package, things like that. And in the second half of the year, Checkmarx will probably include like DAS, Dynamic Application Security Tactics, on the same platform. It's one of the scanner available. and then also API security. Okay, so this is a overview of the AST platform architectures, and then we go have like a correlation layer. You just launch a correlation layer for AST platform called Fusion. Okay, this week, so you'll be available for a customer to use the correlation between the scanner result on the platform itself. Okay, and everything will be under the unified dashboard and reporting. You can see all the scan result under the same dashboard. And then there's a SDLC integration, orchestration, and then unify the dashboard for you to see. Okay. So I just want to show you that this picture to show you that Checkmarx has been rendered as a leader in the Magic Quadrant 2022. It's a second here. It's a 5 years in a row. Okay. The next, I'm going to show you the demo. Okay. So this is a AST platform that I just logged in. You can see there's a list of projects I scanned earlier. So you can see I can create a new project. For example, I have this source repository, like I have this Java Verbal Lab. So you can see it's on the GitHub source control management system. Under this source repository, you can see there's lots of files. You have a custom code, you have like a Docker file, and you also have like a pond.xml file. It lists all the library dependency, open source library that I use in this project, a lot of dependency, right? Oh, and then I can use this download the zip file or can copy the URL, public URL, and I go to the AST platform. I can just simply create a new project. Then I can put like a webinar demo. For example, I just do a project name, create project name. Then I can probably just copy, paste the repository URL. Because it's a public URL, I don't need to put in username, password, or personal access token to access the repository. So I can choose the branch I want to analyze for application security risk or open source risk for this project. Then I can choose to have tags. Tags means that if you want to, for filtering purpose, you can add additional text information on your project. And you click next, and then you can choose the scanner you want to use for analyze your open source project. You can either choose like, for example, statistical analysis scan, or you can use the SCA scan for analyzing open source library in your project. Okay, and also you can use a Kick scanner to like analyze your infrastructure as a code template for misconfiguration or vulnerability in those template. So I can click scan, it will trigger the scan. So this is a cloud-based solution. So basically, it's very easy to use. You just go put scan, and then you can also select the scanner you want to use for scanning the project. Okay, so I can show you the project that I scanned earlier. Okay, this is the same project that I scanned earlier. You can see like this is the same result that I get from statistical analysis, SAST, SCA, and KICS. So for example, I can go to like SAST to find the result. I can show like, for example, this is the vulnerability found in those SAST scanner result. So for example, I can see like refactor cross-site scripting. So I can see like one the sample. If I click on one of them, so it show you the attack vector, how this cross-site scripting can happen in your application code that you can come in from input, okay, along the flow. There's no sanitization, right, or escaping or encoding in your code, so you can. That's why it causes cross-site scripting attack. Then you can see like a description. You can show you like a description why this attack happened, and then you can show if you can read more, it can give you more information about this attack. So basically, it gives you like information, the risk, cost, and generic recommendation on how to fix it. Okay. Again, and then you can go like another project scanner. Let's say I go back to my same project. So I look at the scanner. So SCA. So this is SCA software composition analysis. So I can look at the result. So basically, you show me the result on the like open source library that I use in the project. For example, I have like those CVE number with the CVE number and also CX. CX is the open source library issue found by the Checkmarx R&D team. So for example, I can click on one of the CVE number of this library. I can click on it. It show you like what is the issue, the reason why this open source library has a vulnerability, and then you can see the description here, and then I can show like a recommendation to upgrade to the latest version. Okay, and then also there's a CVSS score on related to the open source library. Okay, and then if you have like a variable package path, let's say if you have other dependent package, it will list it under here. Okay, so let me show you another features of this open source library. It can show you like a exportable path. So let's say if you have the files right in your project using the open source library in your project, then there's a show you which file in your project are using this open source library and which lines of code is using it, and you can trace all the way back to your exploitable variable library function. Sorry, that causing this issue. Okay, so this is features that the Checkmarx solution can provide is exploitable path. And then you can also find the license legal risk. For example, if you are using the AST platform to use the SCA scanner, it can give you like a whether this the project compliant with the license. Okay, legal risk. So there's like information about the license related to this project. There's also the license score for this project, and then it can show you the reason why this project is a copyleft, because make sure that you must distribute the software if you use this license. Okay, and then you also give you like a container. If you scan the project right under the container tab, it can show you detect the vulnerable package in your Docker image. Okay, in your project, for example, like this example is OpenJDK in a specified in a Docker file using an OpenJDK Docker image, and it's found this vulnerable package. You can click on it. It can show you the vulnerable package found in this Docker image. Okay, so there's a CVE number tagged to it. Okay, and then for supply chain security, you can also find, like for example, using the AST platform, you can find if your project have a malicious package, such as like a UA parser, right, that I show you earlier, or other like a typo squatting. Okay, you can using the CSA platform to find all these malicious package. For example, like you can see like this is a package using like crypto mining, potential causing the crypto mining risk of your project. Okay, so yeah, I can show you like for example, UA parser is another one. So it can show you like a contributor reputation, package reliability, and then also the behavior integrity. Okay, and then if you click on here, you can show there's a malicious package, there's a crypto mining, the data exfiltration, things like that. Okay, so I can show you like another example is typo squatting, if I can have it. So this is an example of a typo squatting. So typo squatting can have like you can have this is a legitimate package used in by developer to do certain tasks, but the hackers can like rename to like a similar name and include some malicious code inside this package. Then it can cause like to run the malicious code in the development environment. Okay. So this is mainly to show you demonstration of how Checkmarx can scan your open source library in your project. Okay. So, and then you go back to the AST platform, the same project, we have another scanner called KICS. KICS is stand for Keeping Infrastructure Code Safe. You go to result. Basically, you can see like a Docker file. So it's using in the project, there's a missing user instruction. Okay. So I can go to like, go to just click on this link and show you why this Docker file having a misconfiguration issue, because you don't have like a missing the user instruction. So if you don't have a user instruction in a Docker file, it can cause like a user developer can run this Docker file as a root, and can you don't want to have that to happen, right? So you must have a Docker file to specify a user with a certain user run this Docker file. Okay. So this is the tree scanner that I mentioned. Then your project. So eventually, for this AST platform, you're gonna add like additional scanner like API security and also DAS security, and also we have a correlation for coming up for this all the scanner in the scan result. And if you go to like the project that I scanned earlier, so you can also click on the overview. Can show like the statistic data for each scanner. For example, SAST show you like each statistic data of the SAST, and then SCA, okay, software composition analysis, show you like how many total variable package, and then also the license types and things like that. Also the legal risk, okay, and also kicks statistic data for this. And then you can show like compliance, okay, the compliance, like whether your open source libraries compile certain standard, like for example, OWASP top 10 or PCI DSS, okay? And then if you want to generate under the software bill of material, you can also generate like a scan report for open source Rabbit. There's a different types of format available, and you can also generate like a software bill of material. Okay, this is required by U.S. government to have like a it's like a supply chain, like you have like a car manufacturing car, right? So you must have like a different component assembling the car. So similarly for software, you must have a SBORN report to show you like what component you use in your software, so you can generate report in different format as well. Okay. So having this AST platform, you can also integrate with the different environment platform. For example, if you want to do like the pipeline in your like a Azure project, for example, AST project, you have like this is Azure DevOps, right? You want to configure your project into your pipeline. For example, you can run integrate using the plugin. Okay, for example, AST project, you can go to marketplace. You can extension download the marketplace for AST plugin. Again, after you configure the AST plugin, you can incorporate into the pipeline. For example, go to here, go back. Okay, this is a sample pilot job that I can edit and show you the configuration. Basically, under the configuration, you can specify the project name, okay, and then the agent that you use. And under the AST, you can see like the AST platform that you can use. You can use the branch to specify the branch name, or you can use the tenant, the AST tenant that you use, and then also the scanner you want to use. You want to scan like a 3 type of scanner like SCSDs, SCA, and kicks. You can specify here. Or if you want to do the SCA scanner only, you can just specify SCA here, okay? And after that, you can do the pipeline scan. Then I go to the pipeline. Then I can show you this sample of the pipeline. Okay, so this is a summary of the pipeline scan. Then I can show you. This is the sample result. Okay, show you like the high risk. Okay, the total variability in this project, and then the variability per scan type. Okay, so if you click on more detail, it redirects to the AST platform the result in detail. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is the same retrieve earlier. You show you the detail scan result in the AST platform. Okay. So if you want to do like remember you want to input your scan result in the like a Jira issue tracking system, you can do integration. Okay. So for example, like if you want to have create a new apps under the Jira, so you can populate your scan result into Jira, Slack, Teams, or GitHub issue. So for example, like you can configure the like a Jira, okay, then you need to populate like for example, configure like what's the Jira URL, what's the username, what's the project key, and you can also set like a transition state. Let's say like if you have the issue is rescan again, and then you want to the issue has been fixed, and it automatically close the ticket in the Jira issue tracking system for you. Okay. So this is a integration you can do with the AST platform. Okay, so another way for you to use the AST platform, yeah, you can import a project. For example, instead of just create a new project, or do a scan, you can import a project. Let's say you have a existing repository, for example, like GitHub, Azure, GitLab, or Bitbucket. You can choose, like, for example, GitHub. So I can choose my user, go to my GitHub account. Then I can choose which repository I want to trigger the scan. For example, I want to trigger the scan for using this this project. Then I click next. Okay. At this point in time, the difference between create a new project and import projects, like for import project, you can actually do like configure the webhook events. For example, if you want to do like a push or pull request, you can select this event. Okay, it will automatically create a webhook events configuration in your GitHub account. Okay, and then you click next. It will trigger to choose a branch you want to use, and then click next, and then you can trigger the scan. Okay. So if you go to your GitHub account, you can see like the repository will be automatic configure for you. So I go to setting. So I go to webhook. So you can see this is automatic configure because I under the AC platform I automatically configure the I import the project. You automatically configure this webhook for you. Okay. So let's wait for the project to finish the scan. So if you change changes, like for example, if you do a pull request or make changes to your source project, it will trigger the scan based on the webhook events. Okay. So I'm basically done with my demo. So I just want to let you guys know that let me share the slide. Hold on. Yeah, I basically thank you for today's presentation, and I just want to share this slide. You can screenshot this. This is a QR code, so maybe want you to give your feedback for this session today. We'd like to hear from you, and then you can stand a chance to win the $50 USD voucher if you participate the survey form.
Okay, thanks, Richard, for your presentation. I think firstly, there's one guest who put in the question here. So I think can you see the chat? Can you see the question that he placed there? So other than this question, if any one of you got any questions, please feel free to put here.
Okay, sure.
I think it will be interesting time that we can discuss with Richard to understand more about the solution.
So I got a question for your demo. Seems like many issue for a project. So what will be the real project team? How much effort do they need to the development team? Okay, so we're gonna have we just launched a new feature of the AC platform called Fusion. So the correlation will help you identify to give you like a prioritization and how do you resolve which issue you need to resolve first. So we have this Fusion coming up soon. Actually, it's launched this week, but it will be available soon for a customer to use to do actually prioritization. So for example, like custom code, right? We do have like, let me show the demo again. Okay. For this custom code, okay. For example, this project that I scanned earlier, right? So for usually SCA, so usually the effort, the remediation is not that difficult. So basically, for example, I scan, right, I'm using for Java Maven pom.xml file. So basically, if you based on the scan result, there's a recommendation you should upgrade your the open source library to the latest version. You can just modify your pom.xml file, to modify the version number to update to the version to the latest version. For the code, for custom code, you can actually look at this result again. Okay, for example, the result. So we give you like a remedial advice of how to fix it. So basically, for example, like again, I go to this reflected cross-site scripting, and then there's always a description. Okay, under here. Okay. So I'll try to answer the first question. To give you a description, I'm sorry about apologize. This I think something funny going on this page. So this is a big checkmarks keyword on the page. So it gives you like explanation of risk, cost, and then the recommendation. And also, if you go down below, it give you like a recommendation on how to fix this code, like sample code on how to fix it. So dependent on developer experience or knowledge about secure coding, they based on this page, they can know how to fix it. For example, they should do like escaping or encoding in their source code, okay, to prevent the cross-site scripting attack. So let's say the developer is still unsure about this issue, they can always go to this just-in-time training code bashing. So basically, it's a interactive learning module for developer to. I need to log into my account. Sorry, because I'm using different password. So developer can go to this just-in-time training for this particular issue, right? For cross-site scripting, they can go through this lesson. So basically, you can follow the lesson. There's a role play in this lesson. For example, Alice is a hero, and then Bob is a bad guy. If you play continue with this lesson, there's like a step by step. For example, try to do like a search function. Okay, do a search string. Search for this string for this variable application, and then we try to do the search. You can expose this malicious URL, right? So not malicious, sorry, insecure URL. Okay, and then we follow the steps. Okay, so Bob is try to send this insecure URL, okay, malicious URL to this variable application, and then Alice receive email and click on this link, and then she will be hacked. Okay, it show you how this verbal application causing the cross-site scripting attack. And then later, if you follow the lesson, it show you the verbal code behind this verbal application. So the developer will know why this code causing this issue, and then the description of this code. Okay, and then if you go like next, and then you can understand like suggestion or remediation advice how to fix it. For example, like doing a escape user input, and then you do some additional thing to prevent from this issue from happening. So later, if you go play this the lesson, you know like an interactive mode on how to address this issue. Okay, so developer will go through this lesson and understand the issue, and then know how to fix it. Okay, and there's a quiz to test the developer knowledge about this issue when going to this lesson. Okay, so this is a just-in-time training for code bashing. Okay, for ASD platform. Okay, hope this answers your question. Okay.
If in case the questions are not fully answered, I think you can also continue to add in your questions as well. So I think there's another question which is from Tommy. He mentioned that he asked a question that is there any on-premises solution from Checkmarx?
Yeah, the Checkmarx has on-prem solution for SAC scanner. So yeah, we have this core SAC scanner. So this is on-prem. Let me launch the demo. So this is an on-prem version. So you can see this is installing on my machine. So I can log into my account. Yeah, this is available. For example, the version for statistical analysis is on-prem. Is the version is 9.4.4. Checkmarx just released a new version 9.4.5, and then this is the one version before the latest version one. So you can actually scan a project. You can create new project, scan. You can do like types of like from different places. For example, you can do scanning like demo. You can choose like a preset, which preset rule set you want to use. For example, we have like a WAS top 10 preset, okay, things like that. You can also have like a Android preset based on the standard or requirement or track model, okay. And we also have configuration. Let's say because this is based on the older previous version, so to improve the scan flow, you can by default configuration. You can choose a different configuration based on the language. And then you can group using the team, and then you can also choose where you can upload source code. You can get it from a local zip file, or you can get your source control system, like for example, like if you have like Git, SVN, TFS, or Proforce, you can pull a source code directly from scanning from there. And then you can also integrate with the, sorry, I just need to show the sample zip file. Okay, for example, I can upload the zip file. For example, demo code. Okay, upload a zip file. Okay, and scan from there. Okay, and then you can also like schedule the scan if you integrate the source control system. You can also put the pre-scan information like preset that you use or scan summary to email address, things like that. And out of the box, you can integrate with the issued tracking system like Jira. Okay. And then you can also like have additional information like project custom view for your project, and then you can keep the latest number scan in your project as well. And then you can click finish your scan. So this is an on-prem version from Checkmarx. So I will encourage you to go to the website. We have a website. You can Google like Checkmarx Knowledge Center. We have all the information about Checkmarx solution on the knowledge centers. For example, the one that I showed you earlier is the AST platform. So there's videos available for AST documentation, right? There's a learning track. There's a different type of learning track, operation and development, and asset management learning track. It's a video available. You can watch the video. You can download the video as well. Okay, there's like for example, one of this a lesson for AST platform, right? There's a video you can download as well. Okay, some of the video things. Yeah, this is this is a video. So if you want to look at the standalone solution, so let's say go to the SAST, right? You can show the standalone. This is a standalone solution. So you can see like we can show you the latest one, the release note, and then you can show you the language, supported languages and frameworks that supported by Checkmarx standalone SAST solution. Okay.
So other than the SAST solutions, is there any other checkmark solution which is also on premises, which you just mentioned?
Currently, we have SAST at the moment on-prem. Yeah.
Okay.
The router solution are cloud-based.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I think let's see any other questions from the floor as well. Because I've just clicked the button. Let's see. I think some of the other participants may have some questions as well. But before letting them to ask the questions, maybe as the as participants here, I have one question which I want to seek your input here as well. That is the right now the we have the solutions for doing the scanning and also scanning of various work. So if it is a software development company, they are looking into securing their solutions. What is the basic components that you recommend that they should include in their solution in the testing suites? Because as I think, as you just mentioned, actually Checkmarx has a lot of suites here. So as the beginner of the for those software development company, what do you think and you advise them to have first?
Yeah, I will recommend them to if they accept cloud, if you accept cloud solution, I will recommend AST platform. So this is a platform that developers like to use because you can do the automation. You can import a project using like for you to for repository, and you can use a multiple scanner. Just now I'll show you like a multiple scanner. You can choose like, because as it move along, we're gonna add the additional more engine, right? So there will be more scanner included in this AST platform, including the API security, and then also give you like the DAS component, okay, on scanner and on this AST platform in the later version of AST platform. So this is a platform, so you can use like good thing about this platform is it's a single platform. You don't have to like go to log in another website or install another component to do the different type of scan. So this is a good place to start. It's a use AST platform, okay, and then you can out of box integration. And you can do like you manage a user without integration, like a different types of environment, for example, if you have identity providers, you can integrate the SAML or the OpenID. If you have LDAP environment, you can also integrate those environment. And there's also a client key, okay, for you to do like a command line integration, okay, or client, it's like client ID and the secret. And then we also have API key for you to do the integration with other types of ID and CIC too. Okay, so we'll recommend you to do like a AST platform is a platform to go. Okay.
So, as what you mentioned earlier as well, it seems that there are some other components which actually may not be just really for software development company. So, say for example, if it is the company that's helping other uh, clients to implement their cloud implementation. So, I guess some of them may be using some infrastructure as code solution. So what solutions Checkmarx can provide to them, and how they can make use of the environment to test?
Yeah, so basically, so actually the infrastructure code, remember, actually Checkmarx initiate a project called Kicks. Okay, so open source project. So it help for infrastructure code environment, right? So basically you can this is a community project initiated by, it's one of the scanner for AST platform. Okay, and then this is the Kicks open source project. You can see like this is ongoing development. So we can see like documentation. You can go to find all types of infrastructure code environment. For example, like if you go to query, so if they use like queries, so if you use like for example Ansible, Google Cloud Platform, it will detect all types of issue misconfiguration under this Ansible for Google Cloud Platform, and all this, like for example Docker file. You can see like a Unix support out range. So these are list of the issue. So they can use this when they deploy have customer client to do the checking of the infrastructure as code, right? They can use this IAC scan, okay, the queries. You can use it using this community project standalone, okay? You don't have to, if you don't want to use AC, but you can use this to do incorporate in your customer project to do the scanning for infrastructure as a code, things like that, okay? But if you want to use a AST platform, is one of the scanner is a Kicks. Is use one scanner in the AST platform, right? Then you can choose to select the scanner to scan your infrastructure as code file in your project. Okay.
So that's mean even if they are not yet Checkmarx customer, they
Yes.
can
Yeah.
actually use this Kix solutions. It's
Yes.
free for them.
Yes. In fact, you can see that GitLab also choose Checkmarx Kicks as a IAC scanner in their engine as well. You can see like GitLab. I can show you infrastructure scan. Okay, so yeah, they can use this is open source community, so you can just download query. You can download and then you can do the integration. You can also getting started. You can download like this Docker version of the Kicks. You can do a Docker and then you can scan. It's free of charge. It's not this is a community project, open source. And you can see like GitLab also using the Kicks. You can see this is a GitLab, right? It's another vendor. So they're also using Checkmarx Kicks engine to do the analyze the infrastructure, the code, security.
Interesting.
Yep.
So any questions from our participants? Any questions? I guess the survey form actually is more attractive, so maybe they are filling in the survey form. But at the same time, I think I have a more generic questions which I'd like to get some input from Richard as well.
Okay.
So as as in our industry, more and more cases, we are actually using the open source solutions. Sometimes some of our even system integrator, actually when they need to implement their solution, they pull the source code and also the environment from the GitHub or from any place elsewhere, which may not be developed by themselves. They just pull in and then place it inside and then provided it as a part of their own solution to the customer. But usually, when we perform some kind of security assessment, we will find that there were vulnerabilities in those source code which was not written by them. Then sometimes when we encounter this kind of situation as a security assessor, we can tell the SI and also the customer that, okay, those are vulnerabilities. But it would be quite difficult that the company or the SI to help to fix those vulnerabilities. Then what is the trend and also what is the best practice that being used in the industry in order to solve this kind of supply chain and also to the open source vulnerabilities? Is it we, as a SI, we need to fix all those vulnerabilities, or actually we just, okay, wait and wait and see when the developer fix the vulnerability?
Usually for these guys, I usually like we call like a consultant like a company like SI, more consultant towards like they generate the report from Checkmarx solution, right? So basically they customize the report. So let's say they generate the Checkmarx report, then they look at the report, then they modify to customize report, and then they also have their own prioritization, then give it to the customer, then they modify the report, and then they give a suggestion on how to fix the customer, how to fix it. Then this is a report that give mostly for compliance purposes. They will do that for customers. Yeah, the report will show you detail like which lines of code that you have. So if you go to the Checkmarx SAST on-prem report, they can show you like a all top 10 report, like PCI DSS down to the detail. Which category section 6, right? You have to address the application security issue. So each category of section 6 of PCI DSS, for example, they show you like how many issue found. Then you can go to this report and show it to customers. And then in the detail report, it show you the detailed lines of code where you need to fix. Okay, so basically the consultant will know how to look at the report and customize it and send to the customers to fix to suggest them for them to fix. Yeah.
Okay, understand. Okay, so I think the time is up, and the event actually for this round of the knowledge sharing section is completed today. But I think Vivian mentioned that we can still fill in the form and also to try to get the US dollar $50 voucher if we are the lucky one. Okay, so also, for next month events, we are planning for that. So please stay with us later. So we and also go to our website. You will see the latest updates. Besides, I think our chairman also put a link mentioning about the latest CSA report, which is from the Cloud Security Alliance. They published the latest report that is on the top threat to cloud computing. So this is an annual report which there's a new updated one. So I think for those who are interested in knowing the latest updates about the top threats, you should go to our website and download a set of those reports as well. So I think this ended our section today. Thanks, Richard, a lot for the presentation, and also thanks Checkmarx for the updates about the latest scanning information. So after the events, the slides and also the video we will put up in our website as well. So thanks again for joining the events, and see you next month in our upcoming events as well.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Vivian. Thanks a lot for all the slides and also the participants as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.